You're listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast, a Texas Tech athletics podcast where food and sports clash at the goal line. Here are your hosts, Spencer and Michael.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 23 Personnel Podcast. This is your host, Spencer, joined as always by Michael. Michael, what's up, man?
32 days from now, we will be watching Texas Tech play in a very, very hot Jones AT&T Stadium. How are you?
I am frustrated with technology
With what?
tonight.
With what? For
I had my camera set up all back up and running, and there's some things I need to iron out apparently. And then I don't know if you caught it, Michael. The board froze as we're trying to do the the YouTube intro, which was, I guess, the best time for it to freeze and crap out on me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Although the beginning of the YouTube stream, you can see me get visibly frustrated and have to leave and rejoin and all that nonsense. But knock on wood, these are things that only seem to happen once per episode. Yep. We should be through it. So
yeah, we're good.
Tonight, we are. Please tell me you've seen Psych. Oh, you don't even get that. Okay,
It's like
well, that was a Psych
700
reference.
episodes.
There's not that many.
Close.
Hopefully, there's some USA fans out there that have watched Psych and understand that. I know Kyle hasn't seen it. He hasn't seen anything. Tonight, we are
the
doing
bridge over the River Kwai, and that's probably it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And all kinds of sports documentaries and but not influential or mainstream sports movies.
Well, there are 120 episodes of Psych. So I was close.
Over like 8 seasons, though. Let's not be. And like 3 movies, but
anyway.
Yeah, they're stupid. Because the movie's like 2 episodes lengthwise, but okay, we're not going.
You know who used to do that? Matlock used to do that. Be a part 2 and a part 1.
Yeah.
And some seasons he just had a different actress play his daughter, and she had a different name, and no one cared or knew if they were sisters or whatever. Didn't matter. Solve something in 54 minutes for me, Ben. Knock it out.
Let's go. Tonight we are throwing the Utah Utes welcome party. Welcome to the Big 12.
Yay.
Welcome to relevance, Utah.
Coming in hot already.
Saved you from the basement of Mountain West. You rejoined the Mountain West.
Hey, they would have owned the Mountain West.
The first couple of years until all their roster was gone.
I don't know, man.
They didn't own the Mountain West when they were in it last time. Let's put it that way.
Oh, but they did.
TCU ran that conference.
Heard a little guy called Urban Meyer.
How's his heart doing these days?
Too soon?
He's still alive. It's okay.
He's fine.
We'll talk about the Utes and what a bunch of a-holes they are. No, we're not going to talk about the fans. We're going to talk about the actual teams: football, baseball, basketball. Next week, though, Michael, you've got the intro for our compatriots, the Wildcats. Not the Wildcats. We did them last time. These are
the Fun Devils.
Probably most alike the Big 12. No, most alike Texas Tech. And the newcomers.
Of the newcomers, I'd still put Oklahoma State, and not because of the Xerox U.
Yeah,
I think Oklahoma State and Arizona State. That's like a trifecta of very similar vibes.
Yeah, I was going to say, Oklahoma State made sure that there was very similar to Texas
Oh,
Tech.
yes, it's engineered.
You catch me. Yeah,
it is in their OSU DNA.
Yeah. We do have football updates. Today, the day we're recording, was report day. tomorrow is the official start of fall camp. So the 31st, probably the day you're listening to this, or at least that you could listen to it. Um, Players on award watch lists. A softball update, even though it's not football. Maybe we drop that into the baseball update. We should do a what's it called? A round ball?
Plan.
Hard ball.
That makes
Oh,
more
hard
sense.
ball. Oh no. You still there?
I think so.
Did we lose Michael? Nope, he's there. Good gravy.
It's okay. Yeah, it said you lost me for a minute, and then
Well, I could hear you for a second, then you got choppy, and this is wonderful. I love this for us. We'll drop this down here with the baseball update. Which, by the way, there's a sizable baseball update. I found some portal updates and news. We mentioned that we'll get to it when we found some names, and obviously it's difficult to track the roster, but I've got names. I've got names to share. So we'll do all that tonight. Set you up for Arizona State welcome party next week, and then Michael, then we're cooking. Following that, after Arizona State, we're going back to hitting you every week. Well, you've been getting every week, but if something timely happens the week of the Arizona State episode, you won't hear it from us. We're recording that tonight. Not that you need to know that, but we have the what all is new in college football for 2024 prepared for that week when we come back, the week that school starts mid-August here for us in the LBK. New rules, realignment, like who's where, coaches, players, all that kind of stuff. After that, we'll talk about conference predictions around the Big 12, and then after that, we'll do Texas Tech and your Week 1 preview. So we are not far off from kickoff. You mentioned 32 days. That kind of feels like a long way off until you're like, I mean, that's a month, man.
Yeah, we're right on it. We're on the cusp.
The cusp. All right. Also, if I sound sick, I'm not. I'm trying to air quote detox from allergy medicine because essentially I could take everything under the sun, including Benadryl, and not be affected. Although I'm pretty sure I'd probably still get knocked the heck out if I took some Benadryl, but I would still be sneezing and my eyes would be watering and itchy. So I'm trying to like just stop taking all my allergy medicine to kind of reset that. It's also been a miserable past few days. If I touch my nose, I will sneeze 4 or 5 times. So if you're watching this and I'm on mute, I'm probably just sneezing a bunch. I didn't bring any Kleenex, so that's a fun realization. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's jump into football, Michael. Let's do this. What do you say?
Yes, let's do it.
You've got Kleenex. Super helpful for me. I'm only a couple miles away.
I'm here for you.
Fall camp starts tomorrow. Michael, today, the 30th was report day. Give me your temperature on excitement or whatever Kool-Aid drinkage at this point in the off season.
I'm still very measured when it comes to Texas Tech football's success and what I'm expecting. I'm not even there yet. I'm just excited to have the sport back. I've missed the sport so much. Unlike a lot of you guys, I am not participating in the NCAA college football video game. And it's not out of like there's no reason aside from just I've never been good at them and I don't want to spend $80 on it to just learn already that I'm not good at it. So I'm not getting that kind of that hit, that dopamine hit like some folks are. So I'm just kind of over here ready for football to start back. Texas Tech football, yes, absolutely excited about it, but not really forecasting anything. Kind of going in with a clean slate right now, and just more excited for the sport in general. I'm excited about random week 0 games overseas or in Dubai or whatever they come up with. I don't know. So it's all of it's. I'm ready.
One of our, well, I believe it was actually our last episode we recorded. I talked about I was going to get the game. Um, let me confess something to you, Michael. When I saw the notes that it was for the latest generation of consoles, I don't know why I assumed that was for online play, cross play, whatever you want to call it. I was like, I'm not going to play that. Whatever. I'll just pick it up, play on my PS4, and be fine, or download it on the Xbox Game Pass and whatever. No, it's only available on the latest generation consoles, and I'm not spending $500 to then spend another $80 to play this one game.
That I did not know. That's how little research I've done, because we talked in depth. Yeah, I know what consoles you have, and we talked in depth about that when we recorded last week or the week before. And I didn't even correct or think about it. I just thought, oh yeah, you should get it.
I was so excited for that stupid game.
They're doing that with Farming Simulator 25, by the way, which comes out in November, and some people are upset as well.
So like only available on the latest console?
Yep, it will not be available on PS4 or Xbox.
I don't understand. Like, what from the
One, I think.
From the coding perspective, like how hard is it to make this thing backwards compatible? I don't get it.
Well, I think part of it you look at is the age of the console.
Why are they trying to sell new consoles?
Well, because, one, they're not that new, and two, the PS4 came out in 2013, so it's an 11-year-old console. The PS5 came out, let's see, in 2020, so it's 4.
I don't want to hear this logic, Michael. I'm not here for it.
I'm sorry, you're not gonna find it with me, because I do think it's probably tough for them to make it backwards compatible on a console older than your son.
Yeah, no. I okay, I understand that. It's fine. I just won't play the game. I've only been looking forward to it for 11 years.
It's no big deal.
No, I'll probably finally break down in a few years, buy it, and then like, oh, the PS6 is coming out, and nothing will be backwards compatible. There's too much of a leap in the past 5 years.
It's possible.
So that's okay. That's where I'm at. I was more excited coming into the season, until more logic and level-headed research.
Oh, that's terrible.
Brought me down, and it was like, again, like I couldn't tell you if it was a Sunday or a Wednesday episode for the Gauchos. I just know that Kyle did some research on the offensive line, and I was like, nope, this is going to be a tough year. Like we're going to suck. Our offensive line's going to be even worse. Like as good as excited as we are about Tahj Brooks, Micah Hudson, Josh Kelly, you can't do anything. You can't do anything if the offensive line can't block. And I think that's where we're gonna get stuck.
Have you seen that video of Micah Hudson? I know it's running drills. I mean, it's not the same as whoever that giant NBA player was posting up against a chair, but Hudson, the dude has so much speed and shiftiness and quickness, and that's something I've been excited about seeing him play, period. But I know I'm trying not to get too excited about a drill video posted online, but the dude looked incredible. So
I have not seen it.
That's where I am in late July. I'm watching people run routes and shift and do the quick feet and whatever you call all that, and thinking, wow,
We're gonna be so
I
good.
can't wait for football to get here.
Yeah.
He's gonna have 1,000 yards before November. It's incredible.
Well, and also uh, a good level set there with some corporate jargon in there for you. Um, on expectations for a 5-star freshman receiver, um, I think they looked across all of college football the past few years, and this kind of player, like top end, was like 6, 7, 800 yards, 5 or 6 touchdowns. Unfortunately, those numbers would have led all of Texas Tech last season.
And I was
We were
thinking
just
I
that
would take
poor.
that in a heartbeat right now. That sounds
Yeah,
that's
no, for sure.
Tech's
But
top receivers since Ezukama, or I don't even know, Wesley maybe.
no, definitely as a comma, it hadn't been that long. Um, yeah, no, and then it's like, well, shoot. But hopefully, Caleb Douglas and Josh Kelly and maybe even Koyakin um, provide some defensive attention, command some defensive attention, free up Micah Hudson or Jalen Conyers and Mason Tharp on the inside. Anyways, I'm I'm down a little bit. I was
Don't
I
be
was
down.
I was excited, looking forward to it, and I was like, I think we need to prepare ourselves for some tough times. And I was even
We should always do that
I
as
was
Texas
listening
Tech fans.
to our favorite college football podcast. That's not Gambling Gaucho's Solid Verbal, and they're doing their Big 12 preview right now, and they're doing each conference in 3 episodes. Like they have one episode that does high level, touching everybody top to bottom, where they kind of put people into tiers. Um, Michael, they talked at length on 13 teams. Texas Tech got like 2 sentences. And it was justifying why they're in their of fifth, fourth of 5 tiers. So there's like the bottom tier, that was 5. Texas Tech was in number 4. So like not Houston, Baylor, Arizona State bad, but above that. I was like,
See?
outside perception of the Big 12, but also of Texas Tech sucks.
Yeah,
Now
it's
that was tough to
there's a
hear.
lot of haters, a lot of doubters right now.
Then
I might be one of them. I'm not sure yet.
the justification of why Iowa State was a dark horse Big 12 contender was like, nothing you said about Iowa State, like everything you said about Iowa State pertains even more so, more strongly to Texas Tech. But Iowa State's a contender and Texas Tech is bottom, basically the worst of the Big 12 outside of Baylor.
Well, I think that's a great omen because Texas Tech was the dark horse last year. We all know how that turned out. So let someone else be the stupid dark horse. We haven't had luck with our dark horses anyway. Our dark horse can't ride the
hey,
100 yards.
it's below the belt, man.
Can't make it in the trailer.
So okay. The other thing that they touched on, I know this was a Sunday episode, so it was free. They were talking about top Big 12 rushers. And if Brooks has this season to get him the record for all-time leading rusher at Texas Tech, it would move him into top 5 all-time Big 12 rusher in
Wow.
career yards.
In the new Big 12?
All time.
Okay.
Like this is including Oklahoma players.
So this includes like
Texas.
27 teams.
Yeah, it includes like Cedric Benson, DeMarco Murray. Although he wasn't all that high. It was the other guy for It wasn't P. Ryan, but he was up there. Adrian Peterson is on this list.
Yeah.
Brad Smith at Missouri. I think the only quarterback in the top 20.
What about the Ricky Williamses? Was that pre Big 12 or was that right when?
I
think that's close, at least for one
remember.
of them.
Anyways, I found that interesting. If Brooks gets the record and he needs like 1168 yards, I think that would put him 5th all time. Now he could move up pretty quickly, top 5, but number 1, I think he needs 2,500 yards. He's not catching Cedric Benson at number 1. But I think even if he had like a big year, like 1,500 yards, he's like top 3 or 2. But as he was named to the Maxwell Award watch list, like expectations are there for him. Offensive line though could be an issue.
Well, all I heard about last year was how they were terrible, and Brooks still ran like a madman. So apparently they were able to block enough to open some rushing lanes. I think the issue last year was at least the pass rush, or lack thereof.
Yeah, the issue is that everybody on the offensive line is either new or in a new position, and did not grade out well. Namely, the guy we're all excited about being at the left tackle, his highest PFF grade was in the low 50s. 60 is average. 60
room
is
for
average.
improvement. Room for improvement.
But this is the guy we're handing over the keys to left tackle.
Wait till after fall camp.
Not Ty Buchanan, who started there at the end of last season in the bowl game. Not even trying out Caleb Rogers again. No. We're moving him inside. Yeah.
This is going to be the most frustrating 6-6 team that we've had. Maybe not the most frustrating, but close.
Yeah. You know who's not on our schedule this year, Michael? Utah.
They're not.
Can I tell you?
Do you wish they were?
No. Well, kind of. Maybe not this year. But can I tell you, I don't understand all the love and just I'm hearing about Utah right now. They're like, the Big 12's not ready for this physical style of play. It's like, when was the last time you watched a Big 12 game? It's obviously been like 6-7 years. If you don't think teams are prepared for a power I team that runs an offensive system from 30 freaking years ago. You know who else did that last year? Baylor. How well did that work out for them?
Ooh.
They sucked.
Ooh.
They were, they're so physical. They're so physical. Yeah. You know what? The Big 12 not a bunch of freaking pansies. We play defense again. Not everybody doesn't run the air raid and no defense. That was Texas Tech 10 years ago. One, that wasn't the entire conference, but like they're just assuming nobody's ready for this style of play from Utah. You know who Utah played last year, Michael? They played Baylor. Do you want a reminder how that game went?
I do. I would love one.
Utah won this game against a terrible Baylor team. 20-13. This power team that's supposed to just run over everybody put up 20 points against Baylor and held them to 13. Excuse me for not being scared of
Didn't
the
Baylor
Utes.
was Baylor playing their backup quarterback that game?
Let's see.
Because Baylor either
Robertson.
Baylor lost to Texas State, right?
They were 0-2 after this game, so yeah, they lost their first 2 games.
I think one of their guys got hurt. I don't remember if it was in the first game or the second. Something like that.
Sawyer Robertson played the entire game at quarterback he took all the passing attempts. That doesn't mean he was the starter of the entire game, but he was 12 of 28, 218 yards, No touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Utah trotted out 2 different quarterbacks. Now, granted, it wasn't Cam Rising, although, like, maybe I'm just being ignorant here. I wasn't all that impressed when I saw him play. But their 2 quarterbacks combined against a terrible Baylor team to go 12 of 26 for 153 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. Their running team, everybody, like, they're just going to run over everybody. 47 attempts, so they ran the heck out of the ball. 224 yards, 4.8 yards per attempt. Respectable.
It's just some hard-nosed football.
It took 6 different rushers to do it. Let's look up that Texas Tech Baylor box score, Michael. Why don't we do that for a second before we get back into the meat of this Utah welcome party? You remember the final score of this game, Michael?
What?
So Utah allowed Baylor to score 13 points. Texas Tech allowed Baylor to score 14 points. Utah put up 20 points. Texas Tech put up 39, including, Michael, Texas Tech kneeling in garbage time inside the Baylor 10. This could have been a 46 to 14 game. Or 47. I kind of wish
it would have been.
Baron Morton, 19 of 26, 180 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Texas Tech ran the ball. Ready for this, Michael? 42 times. Utah ran the ball 47 total times. Oh, but Utah just such a physical rushing attack. They ran it 5 more times than Texas Tech did. Texas Tech put up 190 yards. Utah put up 220. So 30 yards difference. Texas Tech ran 4.5 yards per attempt. Utah 4.8. Both teams had 2 touchdowns. I mean, should I be concerned about the physicality of this Utah team, Michael? When little old Texas Tech did the exact same damn thing and got no respect for it?
No, because Texas Tech obviously just went with the hot hand. Wasn't a game
offensively for Baylor. They're like, okay, well, maybe Utah's a physical defensive team. Against Utah, Baylor ran the ball 29 times, 121 yards, 4.2 yards per carry. You want to remember what Baylor did to Texas Tech on the ground? In Waco, 30 carries. So they ran the ball 1 more time against Texas Tech than they did against Utah. Texas Tech held them to 17 total rushing yards. That's good for 0.6 yards per attempt. Utah gave up 4.2 yards per, 3.5 more yards per attempt. No touchdowns. Longest rush of 12 yards. Apples to apples, though, Utah gave up 121 yards, 4.2 yards per carry. They're not physical. They're not going to push people around on offense. They're not going to impose their will on defense. But they're supposed to come in and win the conference this year. Shut up.
Favorite.
Shut up about that nonsense. I can't wait for them to get dragged and go 2-12, 2-10 this year.
You think it's going to be that? I don't think it'll.
No, they're not going to go 2-10. They do play their schedule this year does have a Big 12 non-conference. I think they play Baylor.
They do
in non-conference. Yeah. They're going to beat the brakes off of Southern Utah. Congrats. They're I think they're formerly called Dixie State. Baylor in non-conference. They're going up the road into Logan to take on Utah State, who just fired their head coach like 2 weeks ago. Congrats. You'll go 2-1 in that stretch. Yeah, you heard me. At Oklahoma State, getting waxed. Hosting Arizona, you're getting waxed by those frauds. You're going to take a bye week, then head down to Tempe to play Arizona State. Unfortunately, you're going to beat them. TCU, you're going to lose that game. Donovan Smith is going to make y'all look like a bunch of idiots. In Willie Fritz's new system, which will be something we cover in the what's new. Don't forget Willie Fritz is the coach at Houston now. Holy War versus BYU. That'll be fun. At Colorado, Coach Prime is going to find a swag. Iowa State in November. Nope. At UCF on a Friday. Cross country trip to play on a Friday in the bounce house. Y'all getting waxed.
Bounced out.
Wax on, wax off.
I think.
So excuse me, not 2-10, 4-8.
I think you're.
That's a little strong, but
I think you're coming in a little hot.
I don't understand it. They're 8-5 without Cam Rising. Cam Rising is supposed to be the savior of this physical running team. Okay. 5-4 in the Pac-12 last year. They were 6-1 at home, 2-3 on the road. They went a whopping 2-4 against ranked opponents last season. They beat number 22 UCLA at home, 14-7. They beat number 18 USC in LA, 34-32. Props. You went on the road. You beat a ranked team. Then you lost your 4 against ranked opponents. Oregon State on the road, 21-7. A lot of points, Michael. Number 8, Oregon at home, 35-6. Number 5, Washington in Seattle, 35-28. Number 17, Arizona, 42-18. Then, Michael, they made it to a bowl game, and they lost to Northwestern. Northwestern, who is playing their football this year on a lacrosse field on Lake Michigan.
That's one of the Big Ten powerhouses, is it not?
They did beat Florida and Baylor to start the season, but we know what Baylor was able to do to them. Kyle Whittingham is their coach, has been for 20 years. Did not know he's been there that long. I think he took over for Urban Meyer, I believe. Has compiled a 162-79 record, so a respectable 67% winning percentage. Hoorah. They were not hit as hard as Arizona was to the portal, which is expected because Arizona lost their coach, but they lost 25 players. 9 to other Power 4 programs, 7 of which are still deciding. They picked up 12 players from the portal, which was ranked as the 33rd best transfer class. Their high school class is ranked 59th overall, which is a little bit of a downtick or the outlier on the low side for them. Their 6-year average is 37th, which is respectable to good. Texas Tech is not that high. I think they had a top 20 class a couple years ago even. Looking at our lads and the projected depth chart, a lot of old dudes, a lot of guys that have been on the roster for a while. They only have one new starter listed on the offense, and it was a transfer wide receiver from USC, Dorian Singer. It's a 4-star rated transfer. It's a 3-star into high school, but 4-star transfer. Question, though, Michael, if this team is supposed to be such a physical running team, they are projecting to start a redshirt freshman at left tackle and a true sophomore at right tackle, but then only 4 more transfers within the 2 deep. So like I said, fairly well-established team. What they had last year is going to be who they are this year, with the exception of Cam Rising coming back, assuming health there. Obviously, he missed all of last season with an injury. Defense is much the same. Only one newcomer starter listed. Keenan Johnson is a 3-star rated cornerback transfer from Georgia Tech, with 3 more transfers within the 2 deep. So they sprinkled in guys where they needed help. Picked to finish first in the Big 12 preseason media poll. As a reminder, Texas Tech was picked and finished 9th. They are ranked 18th in the post-spring SP Plus rankings, 39th offense, 11th defense, 43rd in returning production, whereas Texas Tech was 42nd overall, 45th offense, 48th defense, 70th returning production. We went through their schedule a minute ago. Um, they have 3 non-Saturday games this year. Southern Utah, game one for them is on Thursday. Their game at Arizona State is on a Friday night, and then the game in Orlando is on a Friday. But I believe that last Friday is the Friday after Thanksgiving. That's not that big of a deal. But it is travel on a holiday across the country, and on Friday, you get that extra day. Any
Well, they'll probably
thoughts?
have a bye before that, right?
Not that week. They do
Really?
they do the Arizona State week. They
Okay.
do have a bye before they
Oh,
go.
you
Or,
you have the bye in there. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I
they have
didn't. The bye is
Arizona
one I did miss.
bye at Arizona State. Um, they don't have any tricky travel or like weird like back and forth. They have an away game at Utah State, which is in Logan, Utah, which is, if I remember, like a 2-hour drive. So it'd be like Baylor and TCU playing. It's not that difficult to get to each other. And then they're on the road at Oklahoma State. So that's their only 2 games where they're back to back on the road. And then from there, it's every other week. Um, at Arizona, at Arizona State, home for TCU, at Houston, home for BYU, at Colorado, home for Iowa State, at uh, UCF. Any initial impressions on what I've set up for you, Michael, on the Utah Utes football team?
Well,
Do,
I
do you
mean,
just like do you disagree with me? Do you think they should that they're commanding some respect and some hype coming into year one?
I think a little bit because that 67% winning percentage over 20 seasons, or 19, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing to sneeze at. So
Nope.
they have established a winning culture. They've slowly but surely built up from a group of 5 conference to a power 5 conference to a power 3 conference, I guess, if we want to assume that we're
It's still
still in the
4
same standing. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're ACC. Duh. But
for now.
I don't want to. I don't want to take away anything they've done. I'm trying to look at this without having seen the fan interaction on Twitter and the self righteousness and the just complete ineptitude to understand their situation and take any sort of or give any sort of credit to the Big 12 for allowing
Where
them
did they think
on
they were
off of
going to
their
go?
sinking ship.
The Big Ten, like
I don't know if it got that far into it. I think wherever they went, they probably were going to say that they should have gone somewhere else. Wherever it was not going to be good enough. Maybe they thought they should have gone independent.
well, your boys across the valley there did go independent at BYU. Asked them how fun that was.
Yeah, they welcomed the Big 12 with open arms, but I expect them to be pretty good. I don't think the preseason poll is going to be that wrong. I'm still really surprised where they landed, just unanimously almost with number 1. But they've got their work cut out for them to be able to do it. And the schedule you've laid out, I think the heavy hitters are going to be. It's really not that difficult of a Big 12 schedule, as you kind of pointed out. So I think that works in their favor a little bit. I think going to Stillwater and I don't know what's
I
the next
think
hardest game?
I think they
BYU.
could stumble into a 9-3 record
Yeah,
and like pound their chest. Is like, well, but your record kind of just gave that to you. It's not your record, your schedule. Because like, okay, I was being a little facetious, but
a little.
Southern Utah win, Baylor win, Utah State win, Oklahoma State. I'm gonna say a loss, but that could be a close game. Arizona win. So a 4-1 start. Arizona State win. TCU probably a win. At Houston, that's a win. BYU, that's a win. At Colorado, probably a win. Like, okay, they could fall into a 9-3, 10-2, 11-1 season and like not really be tested, but also like be the biggest fraud at 11-1 too. Like
It's true because if
they could stumble into the Big 12 slot in the playoff and get Florida Stated by their opponent in the playoff. They could lose 63-6.
so they have on their schedule 6 of the bottom 7 media preseason poll teams. They have TCU, Colorado, Baylor, even though Baylor's non-con, BYU, Houston, and Arizona State. Out of
Also,
spots
Arizona
10 through 16, the only one they don't play is Cincinnati. So if
Arizona
that
could also be
holds
bad.
true, yeah, if that holds true, there's reason to say that a 9-3 win or a 9-3 season may not be as impressive if these teams truly are towards the bottom half of the Big 12, like all the experts said on July.
Yeah, whatever it was. Okay. We don't play them, so we don't have to deal with all that nonsense. We'll just have to see it from afar.
Yeah,
on Twitter.
we'll still have to deal with it. Yeah,
but not like one-on-one. Basketball, baseball, both have relatively new coaches and coaching staffs. Both coming into their 4th year. Basketball is led by Craig Smith. 25 years experience at the collegiate level, most recently from Utah State. And he was 72-24 there in Logan. Utah State's a pretty good basketball program for like a mid-major. And it was at South Dakota before then. This past season, Utah went 22-15, 9-11 in big Pac-12 play, including a 17-2 home record. Played in the NIT, lost in the semis to Indiana State. I'm not expecting a whole lot of punch from Utah basketball. Signed the 40th ranked class, good for 10th in the Big 12, 47th ranked transfer class. If you keep up with their last year's roster, Luka Tarlak, their wing players headed to Cal Poly, Wilkins Jr. I'm not going to pronounce this guy's name. Going to Bowling Green, the guard. Kiba Keita, center, headed to BYU. David Smith, guard, headed to St. John's. Raleigh Worcester, guard, headed to Nebraska. Not bad historically as a program. Made it to 29 total tournament appearances, but they haven't made it back since 2016. One national title in 1944, a runner-up in 1998. 4 Final Fours, 6 Elite Eights, 16 Sweet 16s, 16 round of 32s. I don't remember. Have we seen a preseason Big 12 basketball yet?
I don't think we're there yet. I'm not
Okay.
sure if they've done that. I think when I looked that up, it was still too soon.
Yeah. Well, we'll see when that comes out. I would.
Yeah, last year it came out in October.
Yeah. They're still working on the non-conference schedule too. Apparently. All right. I would expect bottom third of the Big 12.
Yeah.
Sorry about you, but this league is loaded, and if you're not coming in with some big firepower, I mean, you're gonna find out real quick. FAFO, right?
That's it.
Baseball, Gary Henderson, their head coach, also in his 4th year. I mentioned that he's got 37 years coaching experience. with years at Florida, Oregon State, Kentucky, Mississippi State before coming to Utah. So pretty big name programs, especially baseball wise. 13 total seasons as a head coach would rank third most of all coaches in the current Big 12. Um, although Michael, they went 33 and 22 last year, 33 wins, second all time best season for the Utah Ute baseball program. Um, I think Texas Tech had 33 wins last year or 35, and it was a pretty bad down year for Tech.
Yeah, everybody was upset.
But historically, second best season in program history. Gotta love it. Went 16 and 14 in conference play. Um, mid to not great offensively, 91st in batting average. Texas Tech was 54th. We saw what kind of how that kind of fell apart for Tech even. To finish at 298 for Texas Tech, dropped into 54th. Utah hit 289. They had pretty good defensive numbers, 17th in double plays turned, 159th in slugging percentage, 437, 46th in stolen bases. They had 88 successful steals, caught stealing 29 times. For a Big 12 reference, West Virginia also stole 88 bases last year, which is a little bit under their regular projection. They weren't stealing as much as they had. 88 was good for fourth in the Big 12 last year. They did not advance out of the Pac-12 tournament. Not a good historical team. Obviously, if 33 wins is second highest in program history, they have only made the NCAA tournament 5 times. I think Texas Tech has made 5 times since 2016, the last time they made it. Utah made it. Only one College World Series appearance, 1951. But they are building a new on-campus stadium up until this stadium. They've been sharing it with the AAA affiliate there in Salt Lake City. So they never really had their own baseball stadium. But it will be open in 2026. They still haven't decided where they're going to play games this year. I would assume it's going to be in that same ballpark, but that AAA affiliate in Salt Lake is even moving, so that stadium should be empty for them. And then just something else I found interesting. I'm sure nobody else knows who the baseball bat bros are, but it's a YouTube channel dedicated to reviewing baseball bats, mainly for high school and college age kids. But their founder, Will Taylor, played for the University of Utah. And I found this interesting. Like, he's a great YouTube personality, and not in a sense where he's obnoxious. He's a guy that like you and I could stand, whereas like YouTube personalities geared for like my son, I could not hold a conversation with them because I'd want to punch him in the face.
You mean you wouldn't want to go to Double Nickel Steakhouse with Blippy?
No.
Okay.
Or Preston Plays or whatever his name is, or Mr. Beast even.
Duh.
Any of those guys. Anyways, so he played for University of Utah back in he was a freshman in 2013. So he's several years younger. He was 6 or 7 years younger than I am. And he tells a story. He loved his experience on their team. He said he spent the majority of his career there as their third string catcher. Absolutely loved the experience, getting to travel and play all over the country. Knew he wasn't going to play professionally, so like he just wanted to soak it up. And he kind of joked that they only kept him on the roster because he was able to be a switch hitting catcher, which is kind of rare, even though he never really played. His younger brother, also a founder of this YouTube channel, John Taylor, is a current player for the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, but he's a senior this year. So it's cool, dude. I like his work. I watch all of his videos. Um, it helps inform my baseball bat buying decisions, even though he's reviewing like high school and college bats, and I'm looking at little league bats. But um, there's enough overlap there with those certifications between BB Core and USA. I'm going way too deep onto this just to know I enjoy his presence on YouTube. Was a former Ute baseball player. All right, let's talk Texas Tech baseball. I'm done with a welcome party for Utah. You got anything else?
No, welcome Utah Utes. Very excited.
Hooray! I think basketball wise, Texas Tech plays them in Salt Lake City, but only once. They're on the rotation where we don't play them home and home this season, and it will be in Utah. Baseball and softball. Let's start with softball because that's the biggest news. Texas Tech signed massive NIL deal, biggest reported deal ever so far, for Nigeri Kennedy. Reportedly, Michael, which is wild to me, over $1 million. But she was, I believe, NCAA softball player of the year, at least for the Pac-12.
Yes.
Has just ridiculous stats. Pitcher, can rake.
Yeah, regarding stats, let me see. I had that pulled up and then I lost it. So let's see. She was recognized as the USA softball collegiate player of the year. Not even NCAA, just let's just cover everybody, even if there's some college teams out there who are not under the NCAA jurisdiction. She's also recognized as Pac-12 pitcher of the year, NFCA first team All-American, all Pac-12 first team honoree. Let's see, two-time NFCA National Pitcher of the Week. She had a nation-leading 337 strikeouts.
Yikes.
And her ERA, you want to take a guess?
Let me say it starts with a 0.
It does.
0.7?
Nailed it. 0.73 ERA.
Nice.
Led the nation.
That's ridiculously good.
Yeah. I think that was last year. Let's see. She was 24/7 overall in the circle the past season. And an impressive 41-10 with a 0.67 ERA over her 2 seasons at Stanford.
Jeez.
She also represented the U.S. this summer in the 2024 Japan All-Star Series. Native of Topeka, Kansas. Sealed the deal at Las Brisas with John and Tracy Sellers. And of course, John is part of the Double Eagle name, and he and his wife Tracy were both athletes here, with Tracy playing softball here. So how exciting is it to get this caliber of a player in a sport that's not really used to having that, and having a former player facilitate that at this level? Just a crazy turn of events. So Glasgow, I don't know if he had much to do with this at all, but he gets to take some credit for it. I'm sure he may have a lot more to do with it than we think, but some of the articles I read via the Athletic / New York Times or whatever they are now kind of made it sound like the Sellers were doing a pretty good job of recruiting themselves.
For sure. Something else, I believe it was Seeing Scarlet pointed out that with the way that softball pitching works, you essentially get 2 starts out of a weekend starter like this. So like she could be your Friday, Sunday starter.
Yes.
So while it seems ridiculous to spend that kind of money, like you got this, but she's also just a phenomenal 2-way player. Like it's just ridiculous what she's able to do. So
Yeah,
welcome
what I was
to
able
Red
to
Raider.
follow. Yeah, what I was able to follow the softball team last year was offense was pretty darn good. I felt like they had some bats and they had the ability to get runners on base and get them to home plate. But I I think this I read this on and I forgot where it was. It was a legit publication too. I think it said this legitimately puts Texas Tech in the running for Big 12 champion. Just having her here.
Immediately. Yeah.
Yes.
I can see it.
They're already in the talks now. I think it's such a I mean, having someone come on that averaged 0.67 ERA in 50 something games in their first 2 years with all these accolades. And as you mentioned, offensively too, which I don't even know if that was addressed in the article I was trying to find. I can't. Yeah. It's not even being discussed, but at least seeing Scarlett covered it because of course they did. They're awesome. Y'all should follow them, by the way. So yes, welcome to West Texas. You're now closer, at least a little bit closer to Kansas, and you'll be playing in Kansas, possibly. Haven't seen the schedule, but I would assume. So that's good too. A little bit closer, and welcome to a school and a conference that still cares about sports. I see a cameo from the youngest.
Middle.
Well, I was going to say the youngest lad, and then I
Yeah.
I blanked on a word.
No, you're good. He has a hard time going and staying in bed. Um,
I
and
get
of
it.
course, like he comes in, is like, I want to give you a hug and kiss. I was like,
Well, yeah, of course. Come
I
on,
can't fight that.
come on, buddy.
Um,
Let's do it.
so I think that's 2 episodes now in a row that he's come in.
Yes.
It's fine. It's Hayden for you.
Well, that was all I had on the softball front.
On the softball. Well, let's do baseball. Quick transfer portal update. Um, we're just gonna blast through the guys that are leaving. If you've heard it, great. If not, here you go. We all know Gavin Cash is headed to A&M. Landon Stripling almost immediately announced he was going to Florida. Owen Washburn going to land at Wichita State. Gage Harrelson headed to Florida State. Travis Sanders headed to Baylor. Davis Rivers and Garrett Bame both recommitted back to Tech. The other guy that not on this list very recently is Will Burns. Played football and baseball. Yet to announce a landing spot. So, unless I missed it, because he wasn't on this article, let's look real quick. Will Burns portal. Yeah, this was from like 8 days ago. Announced that he was hitting the portal as a dual sport athlete. So, incoming, I know we've talked about one of these guys, Robin Villanueva from Tennessee, a first baseman. Is a senior. 2024, he appeared in 35 games, 24 starts, 288 batting average, 5 home runs, 22 ribby, 3 doubles, 960 OPS. Interesting enough, you're also adding another upperclassman first baseman, Peyton Schultz from Cal. Was a little bit better of a hitter, hit 223, 927 OPS, 552 slugging with 10 home runs, 59 RBI, and 21 doubles.
So you said 223. You said 223, but it is a 323 batting average.
I meant to say 323. 288 for Robin Villanueva, 323 for Peyton Schultz. Then you've got an outfielder, Logan Hughes, sophomore youngster from Stetson, appeared in a ton of games last year, 58 games, 46 starts, 292 batting average, 8 home runs, 34 ribby, 515 slugging, 913 OPS. This has a almost like a Gage Harrelson type of replacement feel to it. Although I don't know his exact skill set. Um, those numbers are better than you got from Harrelson either of these years. Then you got three pitchers so far. Left-handed Lucas Perko from Cal Baptist. He's a sophomore. Through 15 appearances, 14 starts, he had a 5-3 record, one save, 72 and 2/3 innings with a 3.84 ERA, which is fantastic. 135 whip, 76 strikeouts to 22 walks, but it's Cal Baptist up to the Big 12. It's going to be a big step. Left-hander Zach Crotchfelt. It's a terrible name, terribly unfortunate name. Junior from Auburn. Appeared in 7 games in 2024, 1-1 record with a 6.14 ERA, 10 strikeouts, 6 walks, 10 hits in only 7 innings. And then right-hander Jack Siebert from South Florida is a senior, 13 starts in his 15 appearances last season, 7-6 record, 5.72 ERA, 149 whip, 61 strikeouts to 19 walks. Opponent batting average of 303 through 74 innings. So,
I mean, bringing 2.6 ERA pitchers on doesn't get me very excited.
but with the development program that we have in place, Michael, with
a combined 22 appearances,
um, with Matt Gardner, under Matt Gardner's tutelage, I mean, these guys are gonna be fantastic, right?
There's a possibility.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this thing up, Michael. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, what do we learn?
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know either.
All right, let's start with well, they're both food takes, but let's take a peek back to YouTube on the stream here. We got a comment from Alan Corbin, our former Lubbock sports radio personality to current Salt Lake and Utah resident, chimes in and says Utah food sucks. I don't know exactly what he's referring to. It could just be the general state. I have 2 points of contention there. Fry sauce is actually better than I thought it was going to be. If you know what fry sauce is, it's essentially ketchup and mayonnaise, and it sounds disgusting, but it's actually pretty good. Places have like their recipes, their little special blend to it, what they all put into it. It's decent. And then funeral potatoes. I know it's not just a Utah thing, but I actually had some funeral potatoes last week.
I'm sorry for your loss,
Fan-freaking-tastic.
but man, those are good potatoes.
It wasn't. It was a potluck, church potluck even.
Okay, I was about to remove my hat.
No actual funeral attendance required to partake in funeral potatoes. But
I went to Utah once 12 years ago for a wedding. It was really cool because the ceremony was at the top of, it was in the summer, but the ceremony was at the top of a ski mountain where they held the Olympics. So you saw, it was 92, I think, was in Salt Lake City, and they just got awarded it again.
35, 30, 34, whenever.
Well, it's going to be a multiple of 4. So
yeah, I don't know why.
36 maybe.
36, yes.
So
anyways.
they have I don't remember what I ate or having really much of an opinion on it. So, I was just there a little bit, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. But yeah, the thing I'm most interested in though still is the cougar tail at BYU.
Yes. Having been up in the area, I've never had a cougar tail. I never was able to get to the Creamery, which is a pretty famous ice cream place there in Provo. I've been into Salt Lake. I've been up to Logan. I actually toured the Utah State campus. I had contemplated a transfer there after my missionary service, but ended up coming back to Texas Tech. Have no regrets.
So was it? It's probably because of the food. The food brought you home.
Yeah. But if you're not familiar with funeral potatoes, essentially it's cream cheese, hash browns, cornflakes.
What? I didn't know that.
It's cornflake.
I thought it was
topping.
like scallop potatoes, basically. I thought it was just another name for that, but that is completely different than what I thought.
It's not scalloped potatoes. I've had something called like crack potatoes before. It's essentially the same thing. It's just a cheesy uh hash brown
But
casserole
then
with
it's got some texture with the cornflakes.
cornflake on top.
I'm in.
They're fantastic. There's probably very little potato in it. If you're doing it right, there's little potato in it. It's mainly just cheese. Um, but the rest of it, I'm sure Utah, like they have no claim to anything else like barbecue, Tex-Mex or Mexican food. Like they probably have a pretty good connection and pipeline into like some Polynesian food.
Oh, okay.
Which could be pretty fantastic. But Utah specific food, funeral potatoes, fry sauce. That's about it. All right. What did you learn, Michael?
I want to talk salads. I started
I want to talk
in the
salads too.
Discord this week. Yeah, in the Discords this week. Someone brought up salads or steak salads somewhere, and I just thought, oh man, steak salads are so good. And I started going into the ones I
Hold on.
like here around town. Go ahead.
Question.
Yes.
Is this a salad that comes with your steak or a steak or a salad that has sliced steak in it?
The latter. It is some form of
Okay.
that. Now, Triple J's, they're actually steak tips. So they have steak because they ask you the places that I go to for a steak salad, how do you want your steak cooked? Because they cook it to medium or medium well or medium rare, whatever you want. And then
I want it blue.
that's how they put it on. That's how they put it on the steak. So Triple J's has a steak tip blue cheese salad. Excellent. I think that's my favorite one
Okay.
in town. Aside from anyone anywhere that has a beef fajita salad.
I was about to say, you know who makes a great steak salad? I think the connection
That
is
counts.
Roses.
Absolutely, that counts.
Roses makes a
Yes.
fantastic beef.
I was thinking them already. I had a chicken
that's been
fajita salad from them the other day, but man, their beef fajita salad is.
That's my go-to.
Yeah.
And it has been for a long time. I just go there. Although we went tonight because we were not prepared. We're the boys are getting ready to go spend a week with my mom. We did not plan dinner tonight, so that was stupid. I was like, we haven't been to Roses in a while. Let's go to Roses. And I've almost always gotten beef fajita salad. Although it's Tuesday, so I had to get the taco plate.
Oh yeah.
Beef
You have
crispy
to.
tacos. Yeah, beef fajita salad at Rosa's is pretty fantastic. I'm not a big fan of sour cream, so I'll usually have them take that off. And I tell myself I'm not going to eat the bowl. I eat the bowl.
Oh, I eat the
because
bowl.
it's so much better than their normal chips. But once you get all the salad out of it, you can then use the bowl as a chip and eat your salsa with it or queso. Much better. The texture's better. Obviously fresher because they fry it up that day.
Well, it's a flour. It's a flour tortilla bowl as
yeah,
opposed to corn chips.
Yeah.
Corn tortilla chips. So yes, I just salads in general. I've had some really good ones lately. I wanted to brag about my mom and my wife. Mom made this salad the other day, and she kind of likes to do this, her version of a Texas caviar, which kind of changes quite a bit. But the most recent one she did for this salad was corn and black beans, green onion, and of course she just had iceberg lettuce, and so that was just kind of all mixed into the salad itself. Then we had Dion's ranch, but then on top, crushed chili cheese Fritos.
I like it.
Right? Yep. So had that one, and it was a side salad, which it was practically a meal. I mean, because that's how my mom works. That's how a lot of our moms work, probably. And then the next week, I was treated to a wonderful taco salad that my wife made. She had browned this perfectly browned taco, ground beef taco meat, and then had, of course, all the fixings: lettuce, cheese, tomato, the meat, of course, crushed tortilla chips. But then she had cilantro cojita dressing from HEB.
Do you mean
Fantastic.
cotilla?
Whatever it is.
Is it the cheese?
Yeah, it's the cheese.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I just want to make
God,
sure
that's
we're on the same
embarrassing.
page.
No,
No,
we're
I
on the
just wanna
same
make su-
page. This is me switching up consonants. I do this quite a bit in words that I'm not super familiar with.
As long as you don't say Chipotle, I think we'll be okay.
Okay. We should add that to the list, though. That was
Cojita.
cojita. That's
Oh, so
like
cojita
at some of that.
cheese.
Yeah, I'd like to put it on my birria tacos. Anyway, I wasn't trying to be ignorant. I just am. But that dressing was excellent. So good job, HEB.
Okay, so
A lot of good salads lately. That's all. That's all. I mean, in summer, it's just it's so crisp and it's perfect. It's just the best lunch.
This is the second Texas caviar reference I've had in my life in 3 days. My brother-in-law made some on Sunday, and I'd never heard of it before, and now I've had it. I haven't
It's
had
usually
it.
with black-eyed peas, I think.
Yeah, I was like, I don't get it. I looked at the recipe. The one thing that I'd want to change is I don't like raw onion. So I'd want to cut that or reduce it great. I can't get over the smell and the strong taste to it. But looking at the ingredients, I would eat this. I mean, it's beans, corn, pepper, cilantro, and the dressing is vinegar and oil with
Yeah.
some garlic and sugar, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes squeeze some lime on it and
Oh, absolutely some
a
lime.
couple other. Yeah, there's in that Perini Ranch
probably-
steak book. I think that's the one Mom makes most often when she has black-eyed peas. But we've talked about this before. She just substitutes whatever she's got a lot of times. So she had black beans this last time, so it was mostly that.
You know, also sounds like it would go pretty well in this. Some cubed up avocado.
Oh yeah, I'd go for that.
Yeah,
my wife is not a fan, which is a shame.
I wasn't. Like I had like a strange navigation to liking avocado. Started with those guacamole Doritos from like 30 years ago. I was like, what the heck is this? I tried it. I was like, all right, it's pretty good. And then I just like it wasn't everything I wanted. I think because a lot of people use raw onion in it, and like that was always off putting. But I've found enough places that either have cut way back on the onion or my acceptance level of onion has gone up a little bit. When we make it at home, there's no onion in it. It's basically just avocado, cilantro, lime, garlic, salt. But guacamole, freaking good. Avocado.
I think
We've been.
I think my gateway to guacamole was the Taco Bueno Mexi dips and chips. That was my gateway.
Yeah, guac at Taco Bell sucks.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like that, those are two very different things. Okay. The only thing I want to talk about salad wise before we wrap this one up, because I am a consumer of the finest TikTok content. There's a creator. He is a trash truck driver, and I don't even know how it came to be. He would just take videos of himself eating lunch, and he just called it boy lunch. But it was essentially a head of lettuce. He would take a bite out of the head of lettuce, and then he would just dress each bite individually with dressing or with whatever kind of toppings he wanted or that people requested or sent to him. Bacon bits, tuna from the little pouches, leftover from home or whatever. And one, because he works for the waste management of his town, like I don't know, he called it that or just everyone's calling it. They just called it a trash salad, and he would literally just eat the head of lettuce down to the core, and then he just throw the core away. But if you guys have seen it, you know that when he takes a bite, it's just white. Like he goes super wide eyes. fantastic. Samantha and I are going to do it and record ourselves doing it too. She's been a big fan of like taco salads. So it's like, well, we're going to have one head of lettuce between us. Like this is going to be one thing we're just going to share one night. But because you dress each individual bite, it's like, yeah, you can put on your own little scoop of meat, beans, salsa, whatever, take a bite of it, hand it to me, and I put on dressing and bacon bits or whatever, and just go back and forth like that and not have it cross-contaminated. So yeah, if you haven't heard of trash salad, especially for us dudes, it's a little less feminine way to enjoy a salad at lunch. Just don't even worry about chopping up the head of lettuce. Just your first bite is just going to be lettuce, so you can have a place to put toppings, and then from there you eat the whole head of lettuce.
I'm trying to find a video of it. This seems so ridiculous.
Hold on, let me see if I can pull it real quick. I don't even know what his official account name is, but I'm gonna look up trash salad.
I look up trash salad, and it comes up with all sorts of results that can't be what I think.
Dat trash man.
Oh, okay.
He also does like he tests out a lot of different flavors of dressings.
Oh, and he's on that's TikTok, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm on the YouTube. No wonder I can't find it. I'm such an old. Okay. That's crazy. He's eating it like a cheeseburger. That's just a giant head of iceberg lettuce.
Yeah. Every day. It's a new video every day. This is what he has for
What
lunch.
a weird thing to go viral.
I know. This is like what he's known for. Like he doesn't do anything else, or at least not that I know of.
Just a giant head of lettuce and
let me skip to the end so I can show you. No. Oh, that was wrong. He so he gets down to the core, and he calls it the lettuce booty, and he usually just turn around and just chuck it wherever it is. One, because it's just lettuce, right? Like it's not really littering. Although it's kind of funny. He works for
biodegradable.
He works for waste management. Is throwing stuff out. I do think a lot of times he throws it into the truck.
That makes sense.
So Samantha and I are going to do that. We're also going to do the Sprite challenge, where you try to chug a Sprite without burping, and see who fails first. Because you're going to burp.
I did see a video of that, and it was a very bad fail.
What else we're going to do? Anyways, we're just going to do our own little thing. Not that we want to be TikTok famous or anything, but really just an excuse to eat candy and just talk.
Yeah.
Just have something fun for us. But trash salad on our list. All right. That'll do it. That'll do it for us in the 23 Personnel Podcast. Welcome to the Big 12, Utah Utes. I hope it goes swimmingly for you. I have my doubts. I guess we'll know in November how well they fare into the big bad Big 12. We'll be back next week talking about Arizona State and how that transition is going to be awful. For Michael, I'm Spencer. We'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast. Help us out by subscribing, rating the show, and leaving a review. Follow us on Twitter at 23 Personnel, Spencer at Punt Suck, and Michael at Michael_LBK. Be sure to catch the next episode. And until then, guns up and let the tortillas fly.